Say hello to the bad guy, Scott Hall, and I've got a scoop for you. And we all know there's a lot of podcasts out there, and I encourage you to check out this one. It's called Going In Raw. You heard it here first. Going In Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson, you heard it here first.
Welcome to Going In Raw News Brief. You heard it here first. We're going to try to keep things brief today, but I doubt we'll be able to.
There's a lot to get into.
Yeah, there's a lot to get into because there's a lot of news coming out of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the best received Rumble in years. I mean, a lot of people on Twitter saying best Rumble ever. Best Rumble since, I don't know, like 2010. A lot of praise since 2001. Tons of praise heaped on the Rumbles.
Yeah.
And I think for by and large, people are pretty satisfied with the outcomes.
Yeah, I think so. Seems like it.
First, amongst those outcomes that people found satisfying, You Think You Know Me. You heard it here first. Edge is back in WWE. And more details are being reported about his return to in-ring action in the company. WrestleZone reporting that prior to re-signing with WWE, Edge actually had some discussions with the competition, not Impact, AEW, and, quote, had passed independent tests to be cleared for an in-ring return, but Edge ended up negotiating with WWE once the AEW offer had been on the table. They also add, quote, Vince McMahon reportedly told him, Edge, that he would be turning in a WWE ring if he was coming back at all, and had him get cleared by a WWE doctor.
PW Insider then confirmed WrestleZone's report that Edge did talk to AEW about a return before re-signing with WWE and added, we are told Edge will be working some special events going forward, but he's not likely to be wrestling on a weekly basis. He's going to be used as a special attraction, as he should be. WrestleVotes is also reporting that Edge recently signed a new 3-year contract with the WWE for significant money. I would have been disappointed to see Adam Copeland come back.
Copeland, yeah.
Because
Blade.
I would imagine that WWE
Precipice.
I don't know if he used Edge prior to.
I don't think so. He was Sexton Hardcastle for a while.
It'd be Ledge.
Ledge, yeah. Ledge.
It'd be
Precipice.
Cliff. Precipice. Anyways, Waterfall.
Razor, I mean, like Razor's Edge.
Razor's, okay, there you go. Anyways, yeah, that'd have been kind of lame. And on top of that, here's the thing. I kind of get the feeling, like, remember when Daniel Bryan, he was out, and he was like, well, I might go, other places. I just get the feeling that if he would go to AEW, yeah, I mean, it could have been cool. But at the same time, I would have felt, man, did he really get cleared all the way? Like, is he just going to AEW because WWE won't clear him?
Yeah.
In which case, it's not quite as safe. I mean, I don't know. That would have been on my mind. Plus, I don't know. I don't want to see that. I want to see the matchups that are available in WWE. So I'm very glad he came back. And yeah, it was an amazing return, except of course for the fact that they missed his very first spear back.
Yeah, Dolph was especially upset about that.
Yeah, well, he,
production task for that.
That's a big moment.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he tweeted about that one.
Yeah, extensively. Remember saying, "How can you blow it?" His first spear back, and you cut to a reaction shot.
Were there multiple? I just saw the one tweet. Were there multiple tweets?
I think he was responding to people.
A tweet storm. Oh wow!
Not quite a tweet storm, but I think he'd bring it up, and like someone had fan footage, and you're like, "Oh, here you go. You want to watch it? Then here it is."
Well, that's good. That's because that's lame. Somebody should get yelled at for that one.
Definitely.
Why would you cut? Anyways, so yeah, that was lame. So that's cool, man. He's a 3-year special attraction, Saudi shows, big pay-per-views,
Brock schedule,
yeah,
type situation.
Yeah, that's good. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
Well, they say triple fusion. Like I haven't heard any of the details of what changed. That's going to be interesting. Maybe they'll put it. I imagine they'll do it in one of them Chronicles or like a 24
like that. Yeah,
where he'll explain the medical stuff.
I mean, because the triple fusion, I guess, if the spinal stenosis was caused from ruptured discs or herniated discs in his neck, and putting pressure on the spinal column, if you repair the herniation, and I guess if it's a triple fusion, there's at least 2 discs that were ruptured or herniating, and then I guess once that heals up and looks like the spinal column is returned to its normal functioning capacity, then I guess that's the case, and that's fine. I guess it all depends on what causes the stenosis.
Yeah.
It was a situation with him where he had to retire, but like if it was because like Ciampa, he had a herniated disc in his neck, and that's why he was out for a while.
Yeah.
So I just don't know if the stenosis was caused strictly from the neck issues or the hernia. If it was herniated disc, I don't know.
I have no idea. It'd be interesting to find out what he says.
Yeah.
Speaking of more injuries, this was a bummer during the Rumble. AJ Styles, it looks like he was in fact hurt while selling that spear from Edge. You know, he really went over and above. I think I saw like the fan footage of Dolph's, and I think it probably looked, I don't know. Dolph had a couple bits that he's a really good seller.
Yeah, he knows how to throw his body around.
But AJ is too, and according to PW Insider, the early word on AJ Styles is that he suffered a shoulder separation. This is not a dislocated shoulder where you can pop it back in.
No, the dislocated shoulder is the actual shoulder joint. The separation is like, I think, the AC joint where the bones from your shoulder meet your collarbone, essentially, and there's some tissue there that can tear.
It says he will be undergoing testing to determine the severity as soon as possible. And yeah, of course, Fightful noted that because of the injury, Styles' elimination wasn't audible and it did not go originally as planned. We sort of talked about that.
I can't remember if
from our point of view last night.
Was Finn's injury a dislocated shoulder or a separated shoulder?
He was out for a while, so I
thought it was a separated shoulder.
That's probably separated because, like, dislocated. I mean, I know that with dislocated shoulders you can pop them back in. I'm not sure.
That's not to say that soft tissue damage can't still occur with a dislocated shoulder.
He was out for a while though.
Because if it's a fully separated shoulder, like all that soft tissue that's keeping those bones together, they have to go and repair surgically repair that, and that takes a while to heal.
Yeah.
So potential is there that AJ could miss 7-8 months.
Yeah. Finn was out for a long time.
Yeah, he was out almost a year.
Let's see if it says here. So yeah, that's an absolute bummer, man.
That is a bummer.
I mean, I forget when AJ Styles just signed. Within the last 12 months, he signed
a new deal.
And I think, didn't he say that's probably going to be his last one?
He said that is going to be his last one.
Yeah. Here, I got this. You read the next news story.
Okay. Where was I? Next up, Sasha apparently is hurt as well. We were wondering aloud during the Women's Rumble why Sasha wasn't amongst the field.
Yeah, his was a labrum tear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's different.
Yeah.
All right. So he might have dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah.
All right. That's different then. And Fightful has the scoop. They have a scoop for us.
They have the scoop for
us.
us.
As to why she wasn't in the Rumble, you hear it here first from Fightful. Quote, heard from multiple people in the company that Banks has been sidelined with an injury. As reported exclusively on Fightful Select during the WWE Royal Rumble, Banks was not cleared for in-ring action for the show. PW Insider had more. Quote, Sasha Banks was internally listed for the Royal Rumble as late as Saturday, but was not cleared to wrestle due to an injury. They also added PWInsider.com has not confirmed the nature of the injury as of this posting, but there was word of an ankle injury making the rounds over the weekend. Again, not confirmed, however.
So this was from Finn's doctor. Finn's injury was pretty severe, more severe than normal. A really high energy injury. It did more damage than a standard shoulder dislocation,
okay,
where you simply tear the labrum. The prognosis is excellent. We'll fix it and get him back going at full speed. So yeah.
So it's a situation where it dislocated the shoulder, but also soft tissue damage, and that's what takes the time to heal.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as Sasha Banks is concerned, let's see.
Yeah, no real word on the exact nature of the injury. Speculation, ankle. No word on severity. Bad enough to keep her out of the Rumble, and bad enough that she hasn't been around much of late.
Did you hear? I heard that Kelly was her replacement. We heard that last night, didn't we? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a drag. I mean, who knows if that's going to change the Mania plans at all? But that's a bummer.
Yeah. Who knows?
Speaking of Mania, on today's episode of Overrun for patrons, Friendo Club, and YouTube channel members, we're going to be booking our own road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Not Steven Larson's. We're going to have the book for WWE.
Based on what happened last night, we're going to look ahead to Mania.
Yeah.
Book the matches, book winners.
Oh, exciting. Exciting stuff.
So Raw after Mania, SmackDown after Mania, whole new set of stories to be told.
Oh, yeah.
It's a brand new adventure.
Oh, yeah. A brand new adventure. There you go.
Speaking of adventures, apparently Brock Lesnar and Matt Riddle had themselves quite a saga backstage.
Yeah, according to Pro Wrestling Sheet last night, Brock Lesnar and Matt Riddle got into a backstage verbal altercation prior to Royal Rumble. Sources tell us Lesnar and Riddle passed each other while walking backstage. Oh, no. And a tense encounter ensued. One source says Brock saw Matt and wanted him to know the reality of the situation between them. According to three sources, the encounter was real and not something for the show.
Even
now,
with that in there, I was pessimistic at the time, but following the conclusion of the Rumble.
Well, okay, look, let's be honest. With Pro Wrestling Sheet these days, so if one of the next story we have about the Raw announce team, when something comes through Pro Wrestling Sheet like that, where it said that, hey, this change to the announce team is going to happen, you believe that because Ryan Satin is obviously like
his track record's really good.
His track record's really good, but at this point, he's a Fox employee, but via WWE. So you understand that he's not going to get the stuff that they don't want him to get, but the stuff that he gets is going to be through WWE, so you can believe it. However, the flip side of that is when you get stuff like a backstage confrontation, you have to question whether it's being fed to him so that they can advance a story.
Exactly.
And that's okay. That's fine. He's down the career path he wants to be on. But, his stuff, he's not going to be releasing stuff that WWE doesn't want him to release.
Probably not.
So it's natural for us to say they're setting up a Rumble spot.
Yeah, that's what we thought. That's what we thought. And then, of course, after the Rumble ended and there was no spot,
it was like, okay, wow.
Okay, well, maybe this isn't trying to advance the storyline. Fightful later added, quote, one person know that Lesnar was the wrong one to F with, and that Lesnar simply communicated his issues, saying he was spoken to, Matt Riddle, as in he was spoken to by Brock, and he understood.
Yeah, I don't know. I've gone sort of back and forth on this. Because last night we were saying, Matt Riddle, he's just trying to create some money. He's trying to create some feuds for himself. But at the same time, this could be the kind of thing where, hey, if, you do have a lot of, and I think this is probably Brock there's probably an element of Brock being a dick about it. But at the same time, hey, you have the potential to be a big, big name. Do you really want to be starting things that the company hasn't approved because you could ruin it for yourself down the line?
I mean, the possibility exists, but in the world of professional wrestling, you got to promote yourself at points. So
yeah, I know.
As we've seen with some wrestlers, namely Hulk Hogan, he's managed to talk things into existence on numerous occasions.
Okay, let me approach it from this angle then. Matt Riddle being backstage and seeing the Brock Lesnar sign might raise expectations for some. It's the Vince thing where you don't talk about something
you can't deliver on,
that you can't deliver on.
Yeah.
Now, that is different than Brock saying, I'm the wrong one to F with. That's completely different. However, now that Matt Riddle is no longer the guy who's sort of, primarily doing the house show circuit in NXT. He's a big deal who could conceivably win the NXT championship within the next 12 months. Mm-hmm. Certainly North American championship within the next 12 months.
I mean, he's probably going to be a tag champion in the next month and a half.
Right. And he's a big, big deal. And that Rumble spot could have very well gone to him instead of Keith Lee. And so at this point, you find yourself, hey, man, you are potentially going to be with the big boys very soon.
Yeah.
Or you could be. Maybe start playing by the rules that could help get you elevated. Because we all know Vince McMahon doesn't like when people don't obey his rules, as silly as they might seem.
Yeah, pretty silly.
It's not.
That being said, I don't know how much of this would be Vince. I don't think Vince in any way had any part in this, whatever confrontation took place.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a situation where Vince is like, Brock, you see this stuff Riddle's saying about you, go give him a talking to.
I don't think he would have to. I don't think he would have to. Brock knows that Brock books. Look, we've all heard many times. Look, Paul Heyman is the executive director. There is no bigger Paul Heyman guy than Brock Lesnar. That's just obvious.
Yeah.
And so, it's like, dude, you've got to don't mess with it. I'm the guy who controls stuff around here. Don't poke at the bear because it could ruin an opportunity for you down the line. Now, I'm not saying Brock Lesnar was approaching it in that manner at all.
I'd be very surprised if he approached it in that manner.
I
agree. Probably more like keep my name out of your mouth. It's probably more like that.
You're probably right. But also not just because, hey, I can F you up in real life. I can ruin your career, and he can. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's lame. But, we all saw what happened with Matt Riddle last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyways, let's talk this last news item. I guess we can do a Raw preview because it's pretty brief. You got to change to your Raw announce team apparently because we were sitting there wondering why. And
cool, they're getting rid of Jerry Lawler. Awesome.
No, they actually didn't address the real problem. But Tom Phillips was handling commentary duties next to Jerry Lawler during the Rumble last night as part of the Raw announce team. We're like, oh, that's weird. And then according to WrestleVotes, quote, Tom Phillips is replacing Vic Joseph on commentary for the Raw brand going forward. Granted, commentary in Raw has been a massive issue ever since the hard brand split came back. However, Vic really wasn't the problem. I mean, I like Tom Phillips a lot. I'm happy he's on Raw. I feel bad for Vic because I don't think he was necessarily the problem. I don't know, like, are they expecting him to,
wrangle Jerry,
babysit Jerry better? I don't know what else he can really do, especially when Lawler seems like he doesn't really care to add much.
He can't
to the proceedings.
Vic couldn't do much, but I do think that Tom could do more than Vic.
Potentially,
I agree, dude. I completely agree that Lawler's an issue here. I do prefer Tom Phillips over Vic Joseph.
Oh, I do too.
And I do think that Tom Phillips would be able to corral Jerry a bit better than Vic. Although exactly why Jerry's still there is beyond both of us.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
That's the real issue that needs to be
why
addressed.
He's there. That being said, this is even if Jerry wasn't there, this is an upgrade. Mm-hmm. I like Vic Joseph. I think he's great. I think that him and Dio Madden were placed in it. That still blows my mind. That hey, we're doing kind of a reboot here on Raw now with SmackDown being its own thing on Fox. Let's put Dio Madden, unproven, Vic Joseph, who is fine and did prove himself on 205.
Yeah,
in
he
the
was
UK.
really good on 205.
And Jerry Lawler.
But I think there's a huge difference between doing well on 205. I'm guessing Vince isn't in your ear constantly, and Raw, where you got chattering going on in your headset the entire show.
Yeah.
On 205, I'm sure Vic and Dio were allowed to be Vic and Dio. On Raw, that's not necessarily the case.
Well, Dio did, 2 weeks of 205?
I know.
Like, it was stupid to put him out there on Raw in the first place. I don't know why that was ever considered a good idea.
He was really good in those first 2 weeks.
He was good. I mean, he was better. He was better than could be expected of anybody. And I think he absolutely could have grown into something. But man, throwing him out there on Raw, that was a bad move. And then adding Lawler, those were all bad moves. It is mind blowing that they weren't the ones to rehire Taz. Taz is so good.
Taz is really good.
Mind blowing that they didn't hire
crazy,
Taz.
I know. So far for Raw preview, we got two things announced. Liv Morgan battles Lana with Lashley and Rusev banned from ringside.
Okay.
And then finally, who will Drew McIntyre and Charlotte Flair challenge at WrestleMania after their Royal Rumble victories?
You think Brock's going to be there tonight?
Probably not.
Probably not.
No, probably not. Heyman, yeah, obviously, but Brock probably not.
Yeah. This is going to be very interesting how they handle. I am curious to know obviously it all comes down to Vince, but if Drew is able to really, honestly, truly get the fans' fever pitch behind him at Mania, he'll win that title. If it's less than that, I don't think it's going to happen. I think that they're going to keep a close eye on. They seem to be in this trend lately of, hey, let's actually go with what's hot. Mm-hmm. Let's actually trust our instincts and what the fans are saying.
If that's the case, then they can't be too cute getting the story for. The story for Drew and Brock should just be a couple of huge bastards wanting to fight. Yeah. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
Don't get cute with it.
Yeah.
Don't get cute with it.
Don't take him out of the match.
Don't do
and then put him back in the match.
Don't do what they did with Becky last year.
Yeah.
Because, man, it didn't completely help her momentum, but it's like she had tons of momentum. Tons. And you get this crap injury angle, and she's forced out of the match, and then she has to apologize.
Yeah, but here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing, though.
Just focus on what people want to see is her and Ronda Rousey fight.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We have 4 months and 2 pay-per-views, so
I'm not saying you don't try to get some twists and turns, but you
need some twists and turns.
Yeah, that's fine, but
you just
not
can't
to
get
that
convoluted.
Yeah, not convoluted. And you don't have to go to that degree.
Yeah.
A good twist is Drew thinking he's hot stuff. Maybe he gets the upper hand on Brock one more time, and then Brock annihilates him, like a sneak attacks him, tosses him around ringside, dumps a truck on him, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to go to maybe like Roman Braun. Because that thing lasted months.
Yeah.
And it was always kind of cool.
And it was all just destruction.
It was all just destruction.
There's twists and turns. Who's getting the upper hand in terms of destroying the most things?
You got to come up with some big set pieces. Make it a Michael Bay movie, basically.
Kind of.
Anyway, who's a good action movie director, man?
Not Michael Bay.
Who does loud explosions really good?
Christopher Nolan.
That'd be interesting. Brock versus Drew is a Christopher Nolan movie. That'd be cool. Anyways,
That'd
my
be
goodness.
too much.
This is no longer Brief Larson.
Oh, all right.
Anyways, thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. Listen, Friendo Club shirt sticker packs are back, baby. Very exciting stuff. You do not have yours on.
No, I wore mine yesterday.
So, yeah, that's at friendomarket.com. We also have Friendo Club hoodies available right now at the Teespring store listed below in the description. We also have like a long sleeve shirt, Friendo Club shirt there. We'll have more stuff there as well. Anything else, Larson?
No.
All right, cool. Over on the audio version of today's show, available wherever podcasts can be found, we've got our mailbag segment, so be sure to
do
sub
that right now.
over there. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.